to be a good salesperson, you have to be an entrepreneur at heart, because you kind of have to love what you do. You have to have a game plan, and you have to be able to sell and read a room and all the things you need to do to be a good entrepreneur. So it goes both ways. I put everything into what I do, and so I thought I was giving it 110%. Thought I'd be a good leader, and I kind of almost took it as a slap in my face that maybe somebody didn't think I could lead a group of people. I think a knee-jerk reaction of, I'm offended, I didn't get the position I wanted, I'm going to go out and find another job somewhere else, right? That's like a knee-jerk, like I'm hurt and wounded kind of thing. And I didn't do that, and I've always been very smart about that, like not cutting off my nose to spite my face, meaning I'm not going to, go run down to another radio station. I knew I had a good one, and I had a good position. There was no reason to just, do that out of spite, because I was going to be hurting myself in the end. When I did decide to actually, quit my full-time position and launch NuttZo, it was a very methodical, non-emotional place. And I think that's super important. I think when you have to do it when the time is right, but you can't be taking too much time to figure out if the time is right. And that's a really difficult, almost intuitive thing that you need to know, because so many people are starting their companies and need to start their companies while working full-time somewhere else. And you never want to leave that position where they thought, oh, she was starting her own business. Oh, no wonder she wasn't doing her work or whatever. So, it's a lot to think about and do, but I think it's important for people to definitely know when to step off so that they're, leave on a good note. I always have to have fun where I'm working. Otherwise, it's not such a great thing for me. So it's one of my prerequisites is fun. So it wasn't that. It was just more to my ego. And I think I really had to do some self-reflecting. And the biggest thing I guess I didn't get to, was that I realized that it wasn't meant to be. Like, that's where, everything happens for a reason in that regard. Because if I would have become a manager, I would have never started NuttZo. I don't think so anyway, because I've been climbing in a different direction. Yeah, so, I can tell you something that I haven't told the story very much. It's not necessarily a no, but it was the first time, I launched NuttZo, and it's a pretty interesting story, because what I've learned to do over the past 7-8 years is to really put my emotions in a box. And I'm not going to say that I haven't landed on my face maybe once or twice, but I've gotten really good at not getting on an emotional roller coaster. There's always more than one way to solve a problem. I always think you can come up with at least 3 ways. I love to brainstorm.
Yeah.
But it's so true. You're never, ever just stuck in a corner with no way out. There is always 2 or 3 different scenarios that you could play out. And I think that's important to remember, so we don't all get in this panic-stricken state of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do, Well, you can't feel like you don't have any money, because as you and I were talking before, if people can sniff that out so quickly, it's a relationship, right? So you need to be looking for money before you even need money, because again, everything's a partnership, and how well everybody's going to play in the sandbox. That's super important to me when I'm building my team. Everybody doesn't have to love everybody, but they need to respect everybody, and we all need to work well and have kind of similar attributes and personalities, in a sense that, for me, I don't care when you work. I need you somewhat available if it's somebody I need to talk to on a daily basis, but I don't care where you are in the world. I just want you to get your job done. And if I hire the right people, I know it doesn't matter. Like, they'll get the job done and it'll be done right. You can't look at it like it's so awful and you hate it, because you do have to sell yourself. You got to look at it like it's an opportunity to gain more people on your team, because like you said, a lot of times, and especially for this next round, we're looking for strategic partners, not just money. Money's easy to find, but we want people that are going to come on that know the food industry, that have the relationships and the networks to take us to the next level. So don't be scared to bring people on, but at the same time, if you can bootstrap as long as possible, because you're the one that put it all together, and obviously you want to kind of try to keep control as long as possible. I wish I would have started being an entrepreneur sooner. Like, I know I say, like, in my sales experience, I was an entrepreneur, and I was, and I had a lot of great ideas, and I've talked to patent attorneys, but I wish I would have started, my business like when I was in my mid 20s. I just wish that, because I know I could be on my second or third company, and I really enjoy it. So that's the first thing. And then, I don't know if I'm really telling myself or telling other people. I think the biggest step that puts people at a disadvantage and maybe makes their dreams never become a reality is that fear level. And everybody thinks they don't have fear, but it really is pretty unreal when you go and tell your company that you've been with for 9 years that you're going to quit your job and start a nut butter company, because that sounds freaking dumb. It just sounds like a dumbass thing to do. Like, I'm going to start a nut butter company, because you're making a pretty good salary. But so that leap that you have to take to be an entrepreneur, and I always say you jump off the cliff and hold your nose, and you really do. And I just know so many people have great ideas and they're scared to take the leap. And I'm just like, do it. Just take the leap. What's the worst that can happen?